simple that we all know. Budgeting, how to save, understanding your financial statements. If you are in business and you've been in business for a little while, how do you look at your profit and loss sheet? What's your balance sheet look like? What's your projected cash flow like? Looking at those financial statements and then understanding those. And if you don't, really finding someone to help you actually produce and understand those. So again, I didn't want to put too much about financial wellness on this fact and in this because BOBE has tons of resources to help you out with your financial wellness. Okay, and then I always like to put little memes and little funny things in here that remind me because I'm notorious for this. As I saying that I ain't spending all my money. Yeah, go to the store. I'm not buying nothing when I go to the store. And then $215 later, here we go. So understanding financial wellness. So what does the good book say about all of this, right? So when I was thinking about this presentation, I was like, so that proverb in the Bible, Matthew 16:26. So for what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? So why do we work and grind all day like Nipsey Hussle on the left, but then die like Fat Man Scoop, right? For those who don't know, Fat Man Scoop was a rap artist, passed away of a heart attack at like 56 last year, right? So why is it that we can't enjoy the spoils of life while we're still here, right? So that's some of the things I was thinking about. So how do we actually get a little bit of rest? How do we actually rejuvenate? How do we actually keep making money but without losing our soul in the process? So for future reference, rest and rejuvenation are not the same thing. Rest is for the body, right? Rejuvenation is for the soul. So when we talk about rest, it's a verb. It's the cease of work or movement in order to relax, refresh oneself, or recover strength. So it's okay to take a rest as long as you pick that thing back up, right? Rest is things like setting boundaries, work hours, saying no to some things. And like Jim Ness and I were talking about this a few minutes ago, I said, I ain't volunteering for nothing else. 2025, my resolution is not volunteer. And that's actually a lie, because I volunteer for everything. I just like to be involved. So other ways we can kind of get rest is automation. With AI and technology nowadays, we can automate a lot of different art processes. It takes a little bit of work on the front end, but we can automate a lot of things where that's not something we have to think about. And then train and trust, right? So I put fire and forget. That's a military term where we'll talk about it in a little bit, but fire and forget. So you have to train your people to make sure that they understand and can be in your absence when you're not, or be in your presence when you're not there. So when we talk about rejuvenation, that's for the soul. Things like hobbies, things like vacation, continuing education, relatedness, exercise, self-care, mental preservation. These are the things that fuel our soul, that give us a little bit of rest. Jim Ness was talking about how she's in D.C. right now at a conference, and you can see the energy and the fire that she is there because she was around like-minded people. This is the whole reason why we go to conferences and we do these things, is because we need sometimes to lean on each other to ignite our fire, to keep our flame going. All right? Rejuvenation is the noun, though. It's the action or process of giving you energy or vigor to something. And then we all know what revenue is. That's that almighty dollar. So, let's see if this will play. Oh, man. Anyway, so it won't play right now. But any of y'all ever watched the Chappelle Show when it was running on TV? There was one skit on the Chappelle Show that talked about they had like 4 white people, maybe an Asian dude, and they were asking, is pimping easy? And for this sense of this presentation, we're talking about pimping in the colloquial sense. So let's not talk about trafficking and all that stuff. But they asked these people, they asked all these white people, is pimping easy? And everybody was like, no, 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 no. Then they asked the one brother on there. He said, is pimping easy? He thought for a second. He was like, hell yeah. And when I did this presentation at BOBE, I was like, why did 4 out of 5 people say that pimping was hard, but one said it was super easy? Anybody want to take a guess? I'll take it.
He was doing it right?
He was, well, maybe that could be the case. But the way I thought about this was 4 out of 5 people said that task was hard because they didn't have the proper system. So when I was thinking about this, I was like, the one person who said that it was easy for him, whatever the task is, said it was easy is because he had a process and he had a system. So when we learn our processes and systems, things inherently move a little easier. So I call this next slide the setup for the come up, right? So we got to go back to the basics sometimes, right? Going back to the things that got us in the door and the things that drive us on a daily basis. So things like knowing your market and knowing the season, and then the PPPPPPP, right? Which is piss poor planning prevents poor performance. So getting back to the things that we knew how to do in the first place can help us to move forward and get a little bit of rest. I call this slide from lessons from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. So me being a military guy and a fitness guy, like my family is very military oriented. My twin brother and I both were in the Marine Corps. My dad was in the Army. My sister retired from the Air Force. So some of the things that I learned while I was in the military that help us to understand ways that we can kind of deviate tasks and to perfect our leadership are listed right here on this slide. So I won't go through all of them, but I'll hit a couple key topics. But knowing yourself and seeking self-improvement is a really big one, right? Being technically and tactically proficient. Being stone cold at what you do on a regular basis. Set the example. Know your people and look out for their welfare. These are ones that are really leadership traits that you can actually instill in your subordinates, in your team, in your coworkers, in the ones who work with you that can help you to actually alleviate some of the things that are on your plate so that you can go do other things. Train your train your people as a team. Employ your team in accordance to your strengths and capabilities. So I'll leave this slide for you guys too. I'll share this with Jen Vanessa so she can put it out. But again, 11 leadership traits that I learned when I was in the military that can also help in your business. And then going back to knowing your market, situational awareness is a big part of this, right? I know for me, again, using the fitness industry, the time that I'm going to do most of my big marketing push is in October, right? The reason why is because October has Halloween, so you have Halloween candy, and then November you get into Thanksgiving and the pies and the sweets and the goodness, and then you go right into December with the holiday parties, Christmas, and then boom, you're right back to January 1st, where it's dark, it's cold in Seattle, and it's rainy, and you just want to hibernate, and you're just not feeling good. So of course, understanding the situation and being aware of my surroundings, I'm going to do a big marketing push probably in the middle of October, saying, hey, by the way, New Year's resolutions, let's not start in January 1st. Why not start now? You're wasting time. So understanding situational awareness in my business, and as far as yours as well, when is the season? When is the market? When do people tend to spend money on the services that you provide? Define your niche and your value proposition. Understanding what you do and how you do it doesn't necessarily mean that you do it better than the next person. It just means that you have a different way of doing it. And then, as I said, being very stone cold at what you do, right? Being technically and tactically proficient in what you do can actually elevate you to help you get a little bit more rest and revenue. The next slide I put on here is when in doubt, hire it out. And I was supposed to have some pictures, and I still forgot to put pictures there. But finding ways to recreate yourself. Finding other people that are like-minded individuals or people that complement the weaknesses that you have. Those are the ones you want to look to bring onto your staff and your team, right? I read this book called Surrounded by Idiots, which was talking about personality styles and equated to different colors. So understanding sometimes too that you're going to have the visionary on your team. Well, you're not very visionary. You're going to have the workhorse on your team. You're going to have the person who's the strategic person. So understanding the gaps that you have and then hiring for those positions will help you actually also to accelerate your business a little bit more. And then we go back to that fire and forget. Fire and forget is a military term where it's like a heat-seeking missile. If I shoot this missile off and it's going to land on this target, I don't have to worry about it hitting the target because I know it's going to. So as soon as I hit the button, I'm gone. I can go do the next task because I know it's going to land on target and I'll be fine. So again, like I said, hiring people that are fire and forget, right? Ones that you know that you full wholeheartedly trust with everything in your business, that you can turn some things over to them, and when you come back, it's fine. Prime example, I said this in BOBE at the symposium. I was like, I don't want nobody to talk to me in April. Matter of fact, in about a week and a half, I'm the ass in beach chair in Costa Rica. So I know that my assistant coach, Johnny, is very well and capable of taking care of the gym while I'm gone, right? I know that when I come back, none of my clients are going to be like, oh my God, Johnny was the worst person ever, or he burnt the gym down, or he hurt me, because I've trained him well enough, and I knew that his skill set was good enough to where I could hire and forget. Johnny, I'm going to Costa Rica for a week. See you mid-April. He's like, got it, coach. Got it, boss. And he's gone. So that's some of the things that you want to look for when you're hiring employees to help give yourself a little bit of rest. And of course, AI, the big one. Automation, AI. I just now started using ChatGPT for the first time this year, and let me tell you, my newsletters that used to take me like 35, 40 minutes to write are done in about 7 seconds. It's awesome. I'm not the big AI person, so if you really want to know more about AI and automation, again, get with Jennifer Ness and some of the people at BOBE here. They are well more versed than that, because like I said, I'm fool right here just getting on AI. So last couple slides I'll leave you with is just some things that I do to help myself out, right? As much as I want to give you nuggets, these are the ways that, like I said in the beginning, when I do presentations, I think about what helps me that everyday people are also going through. And so I don't know if y'all can see that on the right hand side, but it's this little meme of this guy, it's like basically talking about me motivating myself to go to work, knowing I don't like work, and it's basically just like, go get the money, go get the money, go get the money, go get the money. So for me, every day, that's kind of how I think of it. As much as I love to help people, and I'm in this industry to facilitate health and fitness for others, I also do know that it is a business, and it's like my little baby. So every day, I'm like, man, I'm tired today. I slept like crap. I'm really stressed out about this expansion and this move that I'm doing, or I'm daydreaming about going to Costa Rica. Every day, I got to tell myself, man, like you still got to get up and go to work. You still got to strap up your boots and go get this money. And so things that I think about on a regular basis is reminding myself just to laugh, right? Because life sometimes can get a little bit stressful. It can get daunting. It gets dark. But you know what? Finding ways to just get a little bit of chuckle, even if it's at yourself or if it's a little TikTok meme or whatever, finding ways to laugh. One of the expressions I use all the time is at the end of the day. And usually I finish that at the end of the day, life's good. I'm blessed and highly favored. Right? So that's some of the things that I think about on a regular basis. Trust in the process. Again, when you set out the plan that you have for your business and you work through that plan, remember that it is not a linear process. Everything is not always straight up and it's not always straight down. You're going to have peaks and valleys, ebbs and flows in your business. So just trust the process that you put together a good plan and it's going to work. And then always being grateful and showing gratitude, right? Like that's a big one sometimes, especially in this day and age, like Jeff Ness was talking about, some people are just takers. But understanding too that like there are other people that help you get to this, and you need to show respect and love where that's due. So that's kind of the end of my presentation. Is there any questions I can help answer for you, or anything that you want to talk about?
Listen, that was pretty phenomenal, Pat. I'm gonna just say that. Close my mouth and let someone else comment or ask their question.
Frederick,
I
this is
played.
Michaels. Man, you blew me away here. 20 minutes of aerobics. Thank you. I'm gonna do that. It just takes nothing. And I really love your presentation. I took this screenshot of when you the other slide that you shared because it really ministered to me that this is what I'm gonna put on my background. Where you say rest and rejuvenation, they're two different things. Hey,
No.
an entrepreneur because we wear so many hats. This one is going on my vacuum wall for me to know I must do this for myself every day. One addition that you left out is sing in the shower. I
Oh,
shower.
look. Oh,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Like I said, when I think about presentations that I would want to hear, I think about things that are currently going on in my life, and then I go, okay, well, I bet somebody else probably needs to hear this too. So whatever it is that gives you joy, every now and then, just stop and smell the roses. It's not, and as far as the physical activity things go, we can get into the specifics of dose response and all of that stuff a little bit later on if you actually got into training. But for the most part, it doesn't take a whole lot to keep yourself in good shape, right? It's a little bit of work in the beginning, but it's called a workout for a reason. But it's a little bit of work in the beginning. But for the most part, maintaining and keeping yourself in a good physical shape will help you out on so many other levels as far as your emotional, as far as your clarity of mind, as far as the things that you do on a regular basis, helping to keep you focused. It's just something that it's important. And sometimes as business owners, we tend to forget to take care of ourselves and put our own oxygen mask on first before assisting others.
Thank you so much, Fred. Thank you for these amazing tips. I know I feel rejuvenated just listening. And, um, I thank you for confirming a lot of things. Like I absolutely have opted out of that hustle mentality. I don't do anything I don't want to do. I actually take naps. I've subscribed to the nap ministry. Like one of my friends said this like years ago. She's like, "You ain't grown until you can take a nap in the middle of the day." I didn't know what she meant until I started taking naps. I'm like, "Oh, I feel real grown. Like I get rejuvenated after that."
And it's always kind of funny the things that we hated to do as kids, now we relish so much, right? Like,
Exactly. Exactly. I do want to acknowledge the folks who joined. I see Jonas joined. Leland, we haven't seen you in a while. Or actually, let me not say that because I haven't been here. So, welcome to Leland, Miko, Mason, Marsha, and we heard Brigitte a few minutes ago, and then I think Jillian also. But any announcements before I let y'all go? I do want to encourage you all to join us on the rooftop for the Black Business Mixer, April 25th. That's going to come by really quick. You'll be back from Costa Rica then, so definitely join us. Um, any other announcements or anything that we need to know from you all? Anything that you all got going on that you tried?
yeah,
Go ahead,
so
Elvis. Oh, go ahead. First, Frederick, then Elvis.
I know I'm up in Snohomish County, so I don't really get out to Kings and the further counties a lot. But up here in Linwood, there is an I'm trying to pull it up right now before I forget. But it's African American leadership, basically group that gets together. They've invited us to the next one on Wednesday, April 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. At the Snow Owl Library in Edmonds. So I can actually share that information in the chat if anybody wants to go or if they want to RSVP for that. But again, it's up here in the Snohomish County area. If anybody's up here in this area and want to get together with other Black business leaders, it's a really good time to kind of meet with people up this way.